Happy Wednesday.
I cannot believe it's Wednesday already. We're super excited to bring to you another edition of the SNL show. I'm Scott.
And I'm Lane, and we're bringing you three topics today. One, we're going to be talking about buying and selling real estate during COVID. Two, we're going to show you what $1 million can get you in Laguna Niguel. And then we're going to finish it off now that fall is here with some fall activities to look forward to.
I, for one, love fall because even here on the West Coast where our temperatures are mild all year round, I do feel that perceptible little bit of nip in the air, and those deciduous trees start to lose their leaves. And I even think about turning on the fireplace at night. So I love the change of weather. I got to tell you, I'm a cool weather guy. So this is going to be a great segment for me.
It's absolutely my favorite time of the year. You have, family comes together, especially when you get closer to the holidays. Like you said, the colors that you see with the leaves changing during the fall. And then a lot of the activities that football is back. And then some of the activities that we're going to be sharing with you it's my favorite time.
I didn't know it was your favorite time. So now we learned something else about each other, why we're so compatible, Lane.
Absolutely. All right. Well, let's get into the first topic here.
Absolutely.
So we get this question asked a lot, right? Obviously, we've been having to deal with the COVID unfortunate issue for a little bit of time now, and we've been fortunate enough to buy and sell real estate during the process. And so we've developed, I would say, some patterns and maybe some systems that we put in place on how to properly and safely buy and sell homes during COVID. Scott, let's say you're representing a buyer in today's marketplace. What are some things that might be different today than we would have seen maybe 6 or 7 months ago?
Great question, Lane. Let's count those things down. But I want to preface this by saying there are guidelines set in place by the CAR and the NAR, which made realtors essential within the first couple of weeks of the initial shutdown back in March. So there are procedures in place nationally and statewide to keep clients safe. But again, it's how well does everyone follow that, and how well has the individual agent or team systematized it to maximize the safety of the customer, plus the customer experience and the outcome, which is buying a home for the great price or selling for top dollar. So to your question, Lane, one thing that's a little bit different is we're not riding in the same car together so much anymore, obviously, for obvious reasons. And what we're doing now is setting up our showings ahead of time for our clients. We're sending them all the information they need so they know exactly what homes we're going to see, if it's 1, 2, 3, or 4 homes, what the itinerary is going to look like. We even will take it a step further and give them detailed instructions as to how to get from one house to the other. In addition, letting them know what's the environment going to be like when we meet at that first house. Is it a gated community? So what we're doing again is providing that 5-star customer experience right from the initial conversation so we can take the stress off the client. We want to make it very easy and fun for them. So number 2, let's say we've now given them the proper directions how to get to the house. We arrive together, we jointly exit our cars. We know that the expectations and the requirements for almost all homes now are that we wear masks, booties, and gloves, and make sure that we have our hands sanitized at all times, and depending on the property, may or may not be able to touch things inside. So again, for us, it's managing expectations for the client, understanding exactly what the situation is at each home. And I know for myself, I have what I call my little COVID house showing kit in my car. So I have all of those aforementioned items. So in case my clients don't have a fresh mask to wear, I'm going to make sure I have that for them. I don't expect that they're going to have booties. I don't expect that the listing agent is going to have booties at the house. They're supposed to. But again, and I'll let Lane comment on this as well, we, the Sackin-Stone team, always believe in doing someone else's job just to be on the safe side. So those are the first 2 tips we have, is manage expectations upon getting to the home, and then being prepared when we do get to the home so that we can have the best experience when we actually open the front door and get inside. Lane, why don't you take it to the next level there?
Yeah, I would ensure also on the seller side, if we're representing the buyers, that we do have these things. We have this kit in our car that also has, Clorox wipes and hand sanitizer. Maybe we wipe down the knobs during a showing or before a showing, and just let the sellers know, hey, some people might be a little bit more lax. We're not. So we want to make sure that if they're uncomfortable, because they're opening up their homes to people during a pandemic, right? So we want to make sure that they feel comfortable and safe, that knowing that every Sackin-Stone team buyer that we're representing is going to be professional. We're going to be clean. We're going to be safe. We also encourage our buyers during our showings to maybe not touch knobs unless they're wearing gloves, and we'll be the ones to touch the doors and the knobs and all that good stuff as well. So yeah, I definitely agree with everything that you said, Scott. Having the health kit, I know Philip, you, myself, Gary, all of the representatives on our team, we all have kits in our car. We all take the safety precautions necessary. We all make sure that not only our buyers are safe, but we also make sure that the sellers of the homes that we're seeing are safe as well.
Absolutely. And I just want to tag on that. And Lane's got a great point. I know I mentioned that. It's not to say that the listing agents out there aren't following or complying with the regulations, but everyone's a little bit different. Sometimes on a vacant home, for example, maybe they've run out of supplies and they may not know it. So for us, having our little kit with us at all times makes us feel like we're in control, and we can control the environment for you, our valued customer, and our buyers. And as we're walking through the home, Lane had a great point. We'll touch everything. We want to make sure that you can have the same traditional buyer showing experience that you've always had, which is to be able to take in the house with all of your senses and have that true experience, whether it was COVID or not. Then one thing I would like to add is on the exit, I have an extra little Ziploc bag with me in my kit. So as we exit, booties, gloves, everything goes right into that bag. And then as they walk out, I give a squirt of hand sanitizer to the client so they're clean and fresh, ready to get in their car and go on to the next house. So then each individual home creates from the beginning to the finish experience.
Yes. Now, if you've bought a home before, something else that's new that you didn't have to do before is any home that you're looking at touring, we have to fill out a property entry form for.
That's right.
So that we make sure that the address of the home that we're touring is on this form. And it basically says that you're aware of the current pandemic, you haven't been in contact with anybody in the last 14 days, and you know the risks of going into somebody else's home. But also it assures, it's the same thing for the sellers. The sellers know that, hey, opening up their doors to you, they understand the risks as well. And it just keeps everybody, safe in the know. And it's just an additional procedure. Sometimes, and bear with us, because we have to have one for every single home that we look at. So some of my buyers that have already seen 30, 40 homes, that means we have 30, 40 property entry forms that we're filling out and delivering to the listing agents to make sure that we get in there. And then also a lot of listing agents in today's marketplace are asking for your pre-approval letter and your proof of funds up front, which maybe they didn't do so in the past either. So they're kind of doing a lot of the pre-qualification ahead of time before you even see the house. And so those are some of the things that are new. Other than that, other than the property entry form, other than the safety kits, other than, wearing a mask during the showing, everything else is still relatively the same, and it's a safe environment, and we make sure that we keep it that way.
Absolutely. And I think to Lane's point too, we deal with a lot of seniors, and they're maybe not quite as tech savvy as the millennials and so forth, but we've got the systems figured out. Again, keeping in mind the Sackin-Stone team is all about taking what the current rules are, creating a system that makes it easy and stress-free for our clients. And as Lane mentioned, we'll have 10, 20, 30 of these property entry forms, that may be in the file before we actually get an offer accepted. But again, we want you to rest assured we've got it figured out. We make it easy. Those forms are done, whether it's DocuSign, any of a myriad of other methods to make sure that those are done and easily done. And again, if you've been one of our buyers in the past, we don't look at houses until you're already pre-approved. So giving a copy of the pre-approval letter to the listing agent is a no-brainer for us, because we're taking you out because we want to show you a home, and we want to know if you want to write an offer, we're going to be in the mix right off the bat.
Yeah, and hopefully, because we've done these things ahead of time and shown a lot of professionalism with the sellers in a multiple offer situation, maybe that helps us. They're like, oh, these guys are great. These guys are professional. They followed all the rules. I feel comfortable with them. This is what I want. So every little thing helps, especially in a competitive marketplace like we're in. Now, let's flip it a little bit, Scott. So now I'm interested in selling my house. What do I need to prepare for? I mean, I might have stagers come through, and photographers and videographers and painters or handymen just to get ready to sell. So there's a lot of people coming into my house, not even including the buyers, or are we having open houses? There's a lot going on to think about as a seller. So what can I expect as a seller during these times?
There is a tremendous amount going on. And I think this is probably the most important topic for a lot of people out there, because their home is their sanctuary, and they want to be able to control who comes in and out of that house and what those people are doing. I will give a shout out to all of our fantastic sellers from ages 30 to 90 since the beginning of March. And we've only had one client that has actually changed what their life plans are. They've all turned the next page and moved on to the next chapter of life. And we're really grateful to have created the environment that they can do that. And just one gentleman said he felt a little more comfortable waiting till the fall. But every other one of our clients, many of them seniors, have said, you know what, Sackin-Stone team, we trust you. We know you're going to follow the rules. You'll probably exceed them, and you've got our backs. And so we're super proud and super grateful for that. And how have we done that? Well, we've pivoted just like we needed to follow all of the guidelines. Given what you've heard us talk about with regards to the buyer showings, we want to make sure, and we've done so, that anyone that's coming into your home is completely compliant with all of the CDC regulations with regards to masks, gloves, etc. Some of our clients have been a little more comfortable if when we have the initial consultation with our designer and our stager, which is all part of the Sackin-Stone team experience, that maybe they sit outside on the patio. It's all about following CDC guidelines, understanding where in those guidelines our client feels most comfortable, and then making sure we wrap it all together to make it work just right. And all of our trades, all of our service providers, all of our vendors know that they're going to follow the rules that we've set, that in most cases are even more stringent than what the CDC requires. And our clients have all given us input. They've felt that they've been safe and feel that they've been comfortable. So that's kind of in the preparation phase. Lane, what do you have to add to that?
Yeah, even in the pre-prep, we've actually had to meet clients through Zoom too. Maybe they weren't as comfortable with having people come in. And so we were able to give our consultation and give our suggestions through Zoom, realizing that, hey, we're going to move out during this process because we don't feel comfortable. We're going to leave it vacant. So we were able to do what we needed through Zoom. And then when they moved out, we had all of our service providers come in. But also, Scott, you were mentioning when we help out buyers, we have a kit in our car, with the gloves and the masks and the booties and the Clorox wipes and the hand sanitizer, all that good stuff. Well, for those that need, we also have caddies that we put by the front door. So when buyers come in, and we can't rely always on buyers, we can make suggestions, obviously, and they have to follow the guidelines of wear masks, gloves, booties, and all that. But like, we have to maybe have a sign by the front door with our caddy where we have the extra booties and we have the hand sanitizer and some gloves there too. So that way, that caddy that's sitting by the front door, it lets them know with the sign like, hey, this is what we expect when you're coming to tour this home. But things have been very, very competitive lately. So we're having a lot of showings still. So we want to make sure everything is safe. And now when it comes to open houses, maybe a couple months ago, we weren't even allowed to have open houses at all. You're not really technically supposed to either. But what we've done is we've opened up to what are called private tours. So they run almost as if they're still an open house, where you get a private 15-minute window during the hours of 1 to 4 on a Saturday or Sunday, just like we would during an open house. But what this also helps with is only one group coming in at a time. It's private, no more than 2 or 3 people in a home at one time. They have that 15-minute window. They're making a reservation ahead of time. And if anybody's walking up, we cross-reference a list that we have, and we ask if they have basically a reservation. If there's already somebody in there, we try to find a time that fits or wait for them to finish to ensure that there's not multiple parties in there at one time, and everything is done private and safely.
I'm going to tag on to that, Lane. As everyone knows, I'm a total visual guy. So if you can visualize this with me, how our open houses work is that we now have always 2 Sackin-Stone team members at every one of these open house opportunities that are generally 1 to 5 on a Saturday or Sunday. Sometimes we're going 12 to 5. We've expanded them. We're out front with our Sackin-Stone team Easy Up, with a table there, with our caddy. Once again, we've got I should have brought a sample of one, darn it. We've got a great caddy that has our hand sanitizers, the booties, the gloves, all that stuff that anyone needs. So we're making sure we're doing the buyer's agent's job as well, just in case they forgot. But we're sitting out under the Easy Up with our sign-in sheet, because we'll know who has signed up ahead of time, because we've got a great system to do that, whether it's someone showing with an agent or a buyer. And again, this is usually on our launch weekend. So it's a nice way to get the bulk of the showings done early. And it's also a nice tool. The sellers have really embraced this, because we can just say, you know what, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you just need to be gone out of the house for this 5-hour window. And the way the market works now is we're going to get the bulk of the now buyers through during that time. And then we'll schedule second looks and folks that missed that perhaps on that following Sunday. And in most cases, we're reviewing offers within a few days after that. But again, I want to back up to the fact that there's 2 of us there now. One of us is checking people in and out. Then one of us is monitoring the comings and goings out of the house. We're making sure that they do have their booties on, that they're in proper compliance. depending on the size of the house, we may stand in the entry hall as a little bit of a sentry, just to make sure that that agent and their buyers are following all the protocols they need to. Or if it's someone who's a traditional open house, a visitor that doesn't have an agent perhaps, we become that representative walking through the house with them. But then the other one, of course, is still outside checking people in. We're really super excited to have kind of taken a system we saw from another agent down in South County right when COVID hit and put the Sackin-Stone team different and better twist on it. And it's a system that's been working weekly for us. And we've had tremendous feedback from the sellers, I think.
Not only is the system working really well for us, we're actually training other agents in our office on this exact system. And actually, we had a training session with somebody earlier today.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the open house process is very seamless. It's very easy. It's not open house; it's a private tour. But yeah, so part of the reservation process that we implemented as well, our system, we also give a virtual tour option. So if anybody wants to, or if somebody is out of state even and they want to still tour the home, we connect with them through Zoom or Google Hangouts or FaceTime, or whichever is easier for them. And we give them a tour, face-to-face virtually on their phones. And if they want to open up drawers or take measurements while we're on the phone, that 15-minute slot that they reserve virtually is going to stick, and that's their slot to do whatever they want, even if they can't be there in person or maybe not feel as comfortable being there in person. So yes, things are a little bit different when you're buying and selling and on the selling process, but we have created all these wonderful systems in place to make it as easy as possible, and to make it feel at the end of the day that not much has really changed. Buyers still want to look at the homes most of the time in person, and sellers still want to sell for top dollar in less time, and both are taking advantage. So
exactly. And I know this segment's taking a little bit longer, but it's super, super important today because this is a question we get all the time from people that haven't sold yet or haven't bought yet, but really want to and want to know the systems. As we close this out, I want to give a huge shout out to Stipe Lasik, our marketing and technology director, because he has helped us put these systems together that we can make these appointments for people online and know that we can have a full schedule of showing set up, because at the end of the day, our sellers want exposure. Exposure creates demand, and demand creates the price for the house. And that's what we're doing for them. And buyers want to be able to have an organized system of how they can get into the house. So when we can put the buyers and sellers together, and as Lane said, give them a traditional experience, but follow our CDC guidelines and make everyone comfortable, it's a win-win.
Yeah. If you have any other questions about the process, or if you're thinking about buying or selling and you want to learn a little bit more about what's different and maybe we didn't touch upon it, feel free to private message us, comment on our Facebook or YouTube page. That's fine. We'll be able to get to them. So as always, we're always here for you for all your needs. Now transitioning, this is kind of the fun one. We like doing these ones. We go around from city to city to see what does $1 million get you in each city. Today, we're going to be exploring Laguna Niguel, and we're going to share what $1 million gets you in Laguna Niguel. Stipe, can you cue it up? All right, here we go.
Here we go.
So this is a little property tour video here. Right now, we are in the Salt Creek community of Laguna Niguel. It's a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath, about 2,600 square feet, priced at $995, built in 1989. But as you can tell, even like that Sackin-Stone floor to ceiling wall there, like there's been some upgrades done here. And the lot size is 6,200 square feet with a 3-car garage. And what's really cool about this home is there's a great view out the back too. So a lot of times, if you in this particular area of Laguna Niguel, you're situated higher up on a hill and you have a nice little view looking out.
Speaking of Laguna Niguel, there's so many cities in South Orange County with Laguna in them, and we want to make sure there's a lot of different distinctions. There's a lot of variations from Laguna Beach to Laguna Niguel to Laguna Hills to Laguna Woods, which used to be Leisure World. There's so many different dynamics. But one thing of these South County cities that Lane mentioned is you're going to have rolling hills, greenery, and views, unlike some of our flatter areas of Huntington Beach, Fountain Valley, and Costa Mesa, although it's on a bluff. One thing that draws people down to South Orange County sometimes is the nature of the topography and so forth and so on. And this is a very, very good typical example. Nice suburban neighborhood, a little bit of an oversized lot, over 6,000 square feet, your 3-car garage. So I feel super excited that we found a good representative example to give folks a feeling of, if you were spending $1 million and wanted to be in Laguna Niguel, this is what you're going to be able to get. And also Laguna Niguel tends to be a little cooler than Mission Viejo because it's on the south side of the 5 freeway. So your temperature differential can be about 5 degrees. That's important for some people. It's actually a little cooler than Aliso Viejo, which we'll be showcasing soon too, which is a little bit trendier city for a lot of people, but it's a little tighter, zoning wise and so forth and so on. So Laguna Niguel is a good option. If you've got any questions about any of these cities, of course, reach out to us because we are the Orange County experts and pride ourselves on knowing the nuances and the benefits and the drawbacks of every city.
Now, for this particular home, I don't know if Steve is able to pause it soon, but like when you get to the backyard, you're going to be able to tell that they put a lot of work in upgrading the backyard. And today's buyer, more so than ever before, they're looking for that nice, modern, new backyard. Some people are looking for a pool, kind of like that. You can tell they put a lot of work in. You can tell they put a lot of work in it, and so that's going to be really appealing. If you're looking at selling maybe 2 or 3 years down the road, and you're looking at maybe upgrading your backyard, definitely, like a lot of people are getting their money back and then some for these backyard remodels, but more so now than ever before, just because travel's down a little bit. People aren't as comfortable traveling yet, and it'll eventually open up, of course, but they want to bring that resort feeling to their own backyards, and this is what these particular sellers did for themselves.
That's a great observation, Lane. And as we are out there in the trenches showing properties on a daily basis, I would say one of the top 3 things we're seeing and the top 3 things buyers want is that extension to the outdoors, because we're staying home more. We want to kind of get away from each other or gather outdoors as we do indoors. So the backyards, the investment in the backyard, to Lane's point, absolutely a very worthwhile thing to consider doing. And then that, along with the kind of open open concept floor plans, which have been so popular over the years, are now kind of segueing to how many rooms can I have in the house? Because people are, as we've mentioned on other shows, multi-use for those rooms, right, Lane?
Home offices. Some kids are still going to school virtually, so home classrooms. There's a reason why that these new home builders are adding home offices in addition to the bedroom count. And there's a reason why that these new home builders have these California rooms where they have those accordion style doors that open up like almost a complete wall. There's a little bit of an overhang, a ceiling fan, electrical to put a TV and a fireplace, because they want to make it feel like that backyard space is an extension of your home. But yeah, the reason why they're doing all of this is because that's what buyers are looking for today. They want that luxury resort-like feel in their own home, and they need those extra rooms, whether it's for a home office, because people are working from home more, or those classrooms. So that's what's really important. Like, take note, because a lot of people are spending, especially in these builders, they're spending a lot of money learning and studying what buyers are looking for in today's marketplace.
Exactly. And as we close out this segment, we hope you enjoyed seeing what $1 million gets you in Laguna Niguel. And on a regular basis, we'll be showcasing other cities. If you've got a city that you live in or a city you're interested in that you'd like us to showcase, please shout out and let us know. We'll be happy to add that to the queue. And one other thing I want to mention for our off-screen partner, Philip Talbert, one of the great agents on our team, he on a regular basis is consulting with clients just like you that are saying, well, gee, I would like to do some work to my backyard. Maybe I would like to take this room and split it into a home office and a gym or a meeting room or something. Philip's got some amazing contractor and architectural skills and has become a great resource for a lot of clients to be someone that they can kind of bounce ideas off of when they're thinking about making some changes or an add-on that is going to be practical for them. And number 2, be sure to add value down the line when they hire us to sell the house. So remember, we always like to pay it forward. Even if you never move, we're here for you and want to help you make the home your $1 million, $2 million, $5 million home that you'd like it to be.
Yep. Hey, Scott, guess what?
What?
Fall is here. As of yesterday, we are officially in the fall season. So,
you know what? I can even feel it this morning when I opened up the doors, and I have to say, I think there was a little Christmas in the air. And again, I learned from Lane today that fall is his favorite season too, and it's mine. So I'm wanting the cooler weather. I'm craving it, and I definitely thought I felt a little Christmas in the air this morning.
You're feeling Christmas. I enjoy Halloween. I love, the scary, the thrillers and the scary movies and the colors and the carving pumpkins and candy. Like, what's there not to like? And so, like, you might be feeling Christmas. I'm feeling Halloween. But 2020.
I meant crispness in the air. CRISPNESS.
Oh, crispness. Okay, I thought I heard Christmas.
Sorry. I hope I'm not lisping, for heaven's sake.
No, I think that's my hearing.
It was brisk. It was like a little, like it was more brisk in the air.
Ah, I see. Okay, I was like, it's too soon for Christmas.
It was going to be an outtake, I can tell later on.
That's okay. It's okay. Maybe there is some Christmas in the air in the department stores now. Who knows?
Well, you know, who knows? But I got to tell you, Lane, it's funny. I was at a drugstore the other day picking up some water and some ice, and then I checked out and I got a coupon and said, "Oh, you can go back in the store and you get $4 free." Well, I had gone down the candy aisle and saw that there was a 2 for $4 special on candy corn. So what did I do with my coupon? I turned around and I went and bought little candy corns and little pumpkins.
Oh.
Did they get closed till Halloween? No, they're in there, and I'm munching on them every evening. I'm having a few.
That's okay. Everybody deserves some guilty pleasure sometimes.
But anyway, that's what we're doing so far. But we want to talk about what can our clients do this fall that's fun and exciting and free.
Exactly, because 2020 has been obviously a unique year for us, and it's one to obviously remember. But yes, there's a lot of the activities. We actually looked at a bunch of lists and blogs online, top 50 things to do in the fall, top 55 things, top 10 things, what have you, most of which are outdoors, which makes a lot of sense because a lot of the indoor stuff isn't 100% capacity yet. But one thing came out on every single one of them, right? It was parks. It was either have a picnic in the park, go to the park and kick the ball around, play, throw the football around, frisbee, what have you. Like, obviously, parks are going to be very, very popular this fall. The weather's still really nice. And, you know, for most of us that are in Orange County that are watching this, like, we get to take advantage of beautiful weather, especially during the fall season. So one thing that Scott and I were able to do a while back, pre-COVID even, we were able to tour a lot of the parks in Huntington Beach. There's more than 80 parks in Huntington. So I guarantee no matter where you're living right now, there's definitely some good parks to consider visiting. And we wanted to make it a game even for ourselves. We created a checklist of all 80 of these parks. And it's like, let's try to visit them all. And maybe this fall you can do the same. What are some parks in your area that you'd like to visit? And if you want us to send you a list of parks in your area, ask us. We'll be able to send you that list as well.
Absolutely, because what we do know is that families love to spend time together. It's a little cooler now, and you want to get out there, of course, before it gets dark during the week. But if not, get out there early in the morning on a weekend and just enjoy some time together. And a little tip that I've noticed is if you do get out early in the morning on the weekend, you're not going to have the crowd. So you still want to be able to keep your social distancing and feel comfortable. Early mornings are probably going to be better than not. And I got to just share from my own experience with COVID. Of course, everyone knows I'm a figure roller skater. Our rinks have been shut down, so we've been having to get creative and get outdoors. And I got to tell you, one of the great takeaways from this is we found some awesome parks. I practice at Miles Square Park several days a week, and that park is amazing. There are 6 basketball courts there we've actually found to practice on, and you've got people doing Zumba classes, breakdancing, all these crazy things. That's entertainment in itself. If you guys went to Miles Square Park, I'm going to tell you, hit those basketball courts any late afternoon. You might see me skating and crashing, but you'll get a free show of a lot of different things going on there, all the way to a little tiny neighborhood park called Box Canyon Park up in the hills of Yorba Linda. We've got some people at my club I'm from Orange, they're up there skating. This is an amazing little park in a box canyon, which is a little closed canyon at the end of a neighborhood. I even made that a destination one night and went up there and took my dog for a walk around these beautiful hills when the sun was setting. So the list goes on, big or small. Crescent Bay Park down in Laguna Beach, tiny little park at the end of a cul-de-sac overlooking the ocean. What a wonderful place to go and just have a picnic, watch the rabbits scurrying around. The little kids love that. So many different options, and you start kind of researching around, you'll find some great options in your own backyard.
It's just healthy, I think, and I think that's the reason why a lot of these blogs have park activities on all of their lists. It's like, get out of the house, walk around, stretch your legs, breathe in the air that's not inside air, breathe in the outdoor air, and just and really enjoy yourself with your friends and your family, but do it safely, and just get out. Just get out, whether it's a picnic or whether it's a sports activity, whether it's collecting pine cones or leaves for art projects or something. Just have fun with it, and just it's good for your mind, it's good for your body, and it's a healthy thing to do.
Absolutely. And I think one of the things what we're blessed with here in Orange County, which is one of the most desired places to live in California, and I think in the United States for that example, is these great public parks. Of course, everyone's taxes pay for these, but I got to say, from experiencing a lot of it myself during the last few months and the research Lena and I have done, the parks are just a wonderful resource that we all can take advantage of a little bit more and enjoy, especially this time of year when the air is a little crisper and fresher. Not Christmas here, but crisper.
That's right. That was my mistake in my hearing.
I need to be more articulate. It's all good. All good.
So Scott, should we preview the video, our parks video, or should we hold it back and make it a little bit of a surprise on Facebook, or maybe we just let's just hold it back. Let's just post this video. And then look out, because this fall we are going to release this parks video of Scott and I touring a bunch of parks. We had a lot of fun doing so, and maybe you get some ideas or some suggestions on which parks to visit this fall.
We had forgotten about that until we were doing our ramp up for the show this morning. We remembered that video. We didn't launch it. I'm super excited to put out there because we had a blast. We had a lot of fun, and we've gotten a lot of great feedback on our videos. But this is one of the ones I think will get some good engagement and also create some value for those of you that are in and around Huntington Beach.
Yeah, that sounds good. Well, that's our show this week. So we're all wrapped up here. As always, stay tuned for next Wednesday, 11 a.m. SNL show. We'll be bringing you 3 new fresh topics. If there's something that you want to hear, a topic that you want us to touch base on, feel free to leave that in the comments or send us a text or a private message, and we'll make sure that we get to that as well.
Absolutely. And as Lane says, we love doing these shows for you, but it is all about you, our valued viewers. So comments, critiques, we love it all. We want to make this the best experience we can so that you really get a lot out of it.